What is up, my fellow gamers? In today's video, we are going over some of the best epic heroes in Dragonheir. Specifically, I'm picking out 3 heroes from each different affinity that I feel are top tier that you should be looking out for. First, if you are new to Dragonheir and you don't exactly know what this game is about, I'm gonna have a brief introduction where I talk about the game. If you're already familiar with the game and you're just looking for the best epic heroes, there's gonna be timestamps down below in the description box. You can skip the intro and head directly to the best epic heroes to have. The next must-play game has arrived. Dragonheir Silent Gods. In the description box down below, go ahead and click the link to download and start playing now. Also, make sure you check out the exclusive gift codes to get limited edition gift packs in the game. Dragonheir is an open world game that incorporates many tabletop RPG mechanics represented by Dungeons and Dragons. These mechanics include dice rolling, character creation, and exciting dungeon battles. Dragonheir is the second huge product released by the developers Nuverse, who also brought us the popular game Marvel Snap. All across the world in many different regions. The game also supports many different languages. Dragonheir shatters limitations by being available on tons of different platforms. You can play Dragonheir through PC on the Epic Game Store, along with Mac, yes, I said it, Mac as well, and mobile devices such as iOS and Android, with a future release on Steam. One of my favorite parts about Dragonheir is the character creation at the beginning. You can go ahead and choose from 3 different kinsfolk along with 4 different classes as well, and each have their own customizable attributes that will play a huge role in your dice checks. There's nearly 200 heroes to collect and build your ultimate team with. The heroes have a variety of different traits, elements, alignments, kinsfolks, and classes. Crafting your dream team of 5 has never been easier. Each hero has very distinct abilities from other heroes, which makes tactical skill timing very important. The game also has interactive battleground features that go ahead and play a huge role in the impact of the battle. In Dragonheir Silent Gods, it is your adventure, your rules. Aside from just battling though, you're also going to have puzzles as well that you need to solve, NPC quests, along with dice roll checks that shape and shift your storyline. Download Dragonheir now with the link in the description box. All right, my friends, here we go, starting with the Fire Affinity. I'm awful at pronouncing names, so I'm sure some of these I'm going to butcher. For the first Fire epic hero, we have Alfie. And I would say that the wild special trait is one of my favorites. It just has a ton of different synergy within the Fire Affinity. He has a captain ability, increases all allies attack by 30% in dungeon battles. Very important. This is only for dungeon battles, not all content. So potentially you can get 100% attack up rate with this. So this is one of the most busted skills in the game. Lets Alfie put out very high amounts of damage. Moving along to the ultimate, we got Stoking the Flames, summons a Nexus. You'll see the range is very, very wide and covers at least 75% of the battlefield. Summons a Nexus that lasts 15 seconds in the area, increases the success rate of wild checks made by allies within the Nexus by 50%. So a lot of synergy with this. You're just going to be constantly triggering the wild effect and successfully proccing on it to just do insane amounts of damage. Next one we have, and I don't know how to say this name, the Fiery Guard. We'll go ahead, take a look at the passive. The hero gains an extra 20% crit rate. Each successful wild by allies grants 5% more crit damage to this hero, and the effect stacks up to 20 times. You're going to be pairing those two up, the other one that we just mentioned, Alfie, and you're just constantly triggering that wild effect and constantly getting it off. This hero is going to have their crit damage just constantly increase, so they become a crit damage machine. Fire Affinity hero that is really strong for epics is going to be Karaman, something like that. We got our captain ability, increase all allies crit damage by 30% in Grand Gladiator arena battle, so really good for PvP. You'll notice increasing the crit damage we go hand in hand with that other hero that we just talked about, increasing their crit damage by their passive. I mean, there's just so much synergy involved between these heroes that you can do massive amounts of damage. First passive skill we got is the hero gains 15% attack up and attack speed for 5 seconds upon a successful wild check. First one, Vorish. We got a support this time, and then the ultimate ability, which is what I would say makes this hero so strong. Like their battle skill and their passive skills are like okay, but it's the ultimate skill that's just so busted. Deals cold damage 3 times to all enemies with a chance of inflicting buff prevention. Basically meaning that they are unable to gain any buffs. Early game, you're not going to notice a huge difference with the buffs and debuffs, but once you do get to later game, that's when like buffing your characters and debuffing really plays a huge role, and you can't just kind of steamroll through content and just like have high attack. It really comes down to that end game where it's all about putting buffs on the correct characters and debuffs. Next up, we got a really good damage dealer for Frost. We got Dorkuraz. I don't know how to say this name either, but I love the character model on this guy. Really good range. You'll see it covers about, again, 75 to 80% of the map. What makes this hero so good is that they're able to put that frost effect on enemies very, very easily, which synergizes well with the other ice heroes. And then the final one we have for our frost ice is going to be Vladimir. Increase all allies attack by 24%. All battles, very important. All battles, doesn't matter what content you're doing, you're getting a free bonus to your attack. For our passive skill, when an enemy inflicted with frost is destroyed, gains a 25% attack up for an amount of time and recharges ultimate energy by 15%. So again, hand in hand, you're going to be putting frost on a lot of your enemies. Ultimate skill, one of my favorites, releases an ice ball and it bounces between 5 different enemies and it deals cold damage to them. The ice ball is more likely to hit enemies that have frost on it, and when the enemies with frost are hit, it goes ahead, removes frost, and it does a cold damage explosion. You're getting massive amounts of spreading cold damage, which is amazing. For our Necro heroes, first one we got is Questa. This one is by far so broken for PvP content. The captain ability increases all allies attack by 30 for PvP arena battles. This is the one that I absolutely love. Jumps at an enemy, deals necro damage, but steals 30% of their ultimate energy and healing the hero. So basically it steals your energy and it heals. In PvP battles, going up against someone who has a strong hero who's about to go ahead and unleash their ultimate, you steal 30% of their ultimate energy. It instantly changes the tide of the battle. Next up we have is a new hero. I believe this one was just introduced for season 1, and that is Joyce. So what this hero does is it kind of summons like doppelgangers of itself, and they kind of share like the same kind of stats and damage. Ultimate skill is what goes ahead and unleashes these Fortune Phantoms, and you can have up to 3 of these bad boys running around at the same time. So imagine, I mean, you potentially have 4 of this character out on the battlefield wreaking havoc. How could you not want this hero? And then the final one for the Necros, this is another new one that we got for season 1. This is Zarloth. Passive skill though, every 4 basic attacks heals the ally with the lowest HP, but 100% chance of inflicting silence to the enemy for 5 seconds. Guaranteed that you're gonna be silencing the enemy, which, I mean, hey, why would you not wanna silence the enemy? It means they can't use battle skills or ultimates. It's great for PvE content where you're just going out there and doing your campaign stories. It's insane for PvP to go ahead and shut down big heroes that have strong skills. And then the ultimate skill summons a prison, deals necro damage with a chance of inflicting fear. Unable to launch basic attacks or cast skills. It pretty much is like a stun almost when you fear them. They can't do anything. They just stand there for 5 seconds and just take damage. Moving along, we got our Radiant heroes. First one, Martina. This one is so strong for the rally trait. I absolutely love her. She's probably another one of my like top 5 epic heroes. It is really, really where everything shines. Deals radiant damage to the enemies within range. If the hero has rally, it consumes it and is guaranteed to deal a crit hit and ignores 40% of the enemy's defense. guaranteed crit hit, ignoring defense. I mean, just an absolute melee damage dealing machine. Next for our Radiant, we have Nissa, support, captain ability, increase attack by 24. And then we got when the hero skill deals damage to the enemies with debuffs, reduces their ultimate energy by 15%. I mean, anytime you're able to do any manipulation with ultimate energy, whether it's take it away from your opponent, reduce it, whatever it may be, or even increase your own ultimate, I mean, that's top tier skills right there. We're getting radiant damage, but we also have a 100% chance of inflicting blind, which means they can't hit anyone with basic attacks. And then we're also getting a 100% chance of inflicting healing prevention for 10 seconds, which means the enemy cannot receive any healing at all. And the final one for Radiant, we got a defense this time. This is Chimera, does basically a stun, goes ahead, charges at an enemy, 100% chance, knocks them up in the air, deals radiant damage. And then the ultimate skill, this is what makes them super busted and is one of my top picks for Radiance, and that is resurrects a recently dead ally at 60% of their max HP, restores a percentage of the resurrected ally's ultimate energy before death, and grants them defense of up to, and heals the ally with the lowest HP and grants them defense. I mean, this is just such an insanely strong ultimate skill for an epic. Moving along to our lightning heroes. This one, I really don't know how to say this. This is the Raging Cleric. And what this guy's all about is he puts like a lightning shield on him with his battle skill, and he just does like passive damage to enemies that are near him. And then he does this chain lightning to go ahead and deal more like sustained damage is what I would basically say is what he does. He just has lots of sustained damage with his ultimate ability, enhances all allies with lightning force, granting them blessings of thunder, which gains a chance of dealing additional lightning damage with their basic attacks. Lots of just lightning going all over the place. Basically the lightning god. Next one we got is a defensive, the big drinker, Lida. Immune to death. I mean, how could you not like that? You go completely immune to death, so you can just take all the damage you want. You won't have to worry about dying. Ultimate ability, this is what I love about this hero. This is what makes this hero so strong. Grants control immunity to all allies for 10 seconds and unleashes the battle skill once. So you're getting this as well. You're not only going ahead and putting control immunity on everyone, but you're also gaining immortality as well. So imagine that. Your hero can't get destroyed. Your hero can't be CC'd. I mean, that just basically says no to debuffs at all. No to dying. Really strong, amazing lightning hero. And then the final lightning hero we have is Shuk, our passive skill. We're going to be going ahead and we're just going to be gaining extra ultimate energy. For our battle skill, shoots 3 arrows at enemies. Each deals lightning damage with a chance of reducing their ultimate energy. Remember what I said? Anytime a hero reduces ultimate energy or gains ultimate energy, anything to do with ultimate energy, they are top tier. And then for our ultimate skill, we deal lightning damage, dispels all of their shields with a 75% chance of inflicting attack penalty 2. The fact that you're able to just go ahead and completely remove all of your opponent's shields, really strong. And for our final affinity, we have the poison type. This is the muddied demon, however you say this. You can really just get a lot of healing and defense from this character. And what's really cool is he's not necessarily like a support. He's more like defensive melee, but you get like a lot of healing from him. Our battle skill generates a healing nexus, just like a passive healing totem pole, and it just heals everyone within range. This one is probably, I would say, my favorite out of the poison affinity, and I actually got super lucky and just pulled her. For our passive skill, debuffs inflicted on enemies by the hero will also reduce their damage dealt by 10%. Double value right there, right? Battle skill deals poison damage to enemies with a chance of inflicting healing prevention, so they can't get any healing. And then finally, the ultimate skill is what makes him so strong. Deals poison damage to enemies within range with a chance. Now, it is a low chance, but the charm effect is so good in this game. And what the charm effect does is it forces the target to attack their allies. So imagine in PvP battles, you're putting a charm on your enemy's strongest hero and they're just starting to attack their own teammates. So good. I love this hero, one of my top favorites as well. And for our final poison affinity hero, we got the Gutter Wolf. Really strong damage dealer, puts tons of poison damage on enemies. Passive skill, when the hero deals damage to an enemy under poison, every stack of poison on the enemy increases the crit rate of this damage. I mean, you're gonna be nearly maxing out your crit rate at that point. For the ultimate skill, we deal poison damage to enemies within the range, and when we hit enemies who are already poisoned, we trigger Poison Explosion. Poison Explosion just means that all poison on the target immediately deals damage once more. So it's like, imagine getting almost like double damage effect from that Poison Explosion. That is my top epic hero picks for all the different affinities. Stay happy, stay safe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace!